Hi, if this is the first time you are watching my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Okay guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the following things. What is aperture? What is a large and small aperture? How it going to affect the exposure and depth of field? How to pick the right aperture for your photograph. Okay then, let's get started. Aperture is the opening in a lens, through which light passes to enter the camera. Don't get confused, I'll give you an example. Just think about how your eyes work. When you move from a dark to a bright environment, your pupil gets dilated due to the action of the iris. Vice versa will happen when you move from bright to dark. The same concept can be applied to the camera lens. It shrinks or enlarges the size of the aperture to allow more or less light to reach the camera sensor. In aperture, small numbers represent large, and large numbers represent small aperture. Take a look at this chart. f2.8 is larger than f16, f4 is larger than f11. A large aperture will pass lot of light, resulting a bright photograph. A small aperture will pass less amount of light, making the photo darker. Take a look at this photographs. Depth of field is the amount of your photograph that appears sharp from front to back. A large aperture will result in a large amount of both foreground and background blur, so-called thin or shallow depth of field. This is often desirable for portraits. Take a look at these pictures. A small aperture will result in a small amount of background blur, so-called large or deep depth of field. This is ideal for architecture and landscape photography. Take a look at these photographs. The depth of field is the area of your image that is acceptably sharp. That is called your focal plane. Just think it as an imaginary wall. Everything from front of the wall to the back of the wall will be in focus. If you have few objects or people and you want all of them in focus, rather than increasing your depth of field by selecting small aperture, just put everyone in that imaginary wall. See the result. The blurry background and foreground highlights are often referred to as the bokeh effect. Although bokeh is a property of a lens, the large aperture can produce a prominent bokeh effect, especially when you are taking portraits. Sunburst or sunstar effect looks different from lens to lens. It all depends upon your aperture blades. A small aperture is ideal for capturing sunstar. Set your aperture to a small aperture like f16 to capture a perfect sunstar. You need every teeny tiny details to be captured in macro photography. In another word, you need a large or deep depth of field. So, in mobile macro photography, anything below aperture f8 is ideal. For better results, use f16. Now you know, larger apertures like f2.8 or f4 can be used to capture brighter images with shallow depth of field. It will exaggerate bokeh effect. It is ideal to capture portraits and perform well in low light situations. Small apertures like f11 or f16 can be used to capture deep depth of field. It is ideal to capture sunstar, macro photography as well as landscape and architecture photography. I think you may able to get a basic idea about aperture after watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.